knock, draw, loose.
Tell us a bit about yourself and what you do.
I'm John from Little John Longbows, and I make these. I make two different sorts of bows. This one's called a self bow, and it's from the medieval period, around 1100s. They were initially made with yew. This one's made with ash. With these bows, it's important to try and follow one line of grain. So the grain is the lines along here, and on this part of the bow, the flat part, it's important to try and follow as best you can the grain. All right, so it's one bit of timber all the way along. No joins, no glues, no laminates. At the top, there's a horn. So it gets carved however you want it carved. That's two knocks, one's for stringing knock to string the bow, and one's for your string. So they used to use cow horn or buffalo horn. This is buffalo horn attached to the self bow. This one doesn't have a handle, but it does have a arrow rest. So the arrow pass doesn't have an arrow rest. So I prefer it without a handle. Some people put a handle on it. But yeah, self bow just bends by itself. And the arrow has to pass over that so that it doesn't wear the bow away. If you let it hit the timber, it'll wear the timber away eventually. So this is one of the medieval style arrows that I make. It gives it a lot of stability. That's 11/32 with a field point on the end.
Tell us a little bit about the arrow.
So the arrows they used to use were anything up to an inch, half inch at one end, 11/32 at the other end, and it would taper down to the narrow bit at the end. They would use feathers. They were most of the time a one-off use. If they won the battle, they would go and collect them. If they lost the battle, then that was a one-off use bit of kit. So they're about that long, so about 32 inches long. So that used to be the draw, and depending on the weight of the tip, these are field points. They can have broad heads or other sorts of medieval arrowheads. I do have a broad head down here. So that's a broad head, and that's a field point. So these ones are used at targets today. This one's used for hunting or similar, but we don't go hunting with a bow. That's just a personal choice, that's all. So these tips are heavier, so they'll come down harder and they'll hit harder as well.
So what feathers were used in the medieval times?
So they used turkey feathers, or I don't think they used chicken feathers, were big enough, so turkey feathers were used, so they were long enough, and they were cut and shaped and strung along like that. So that today we use a glue to glue the feather on, but in the medieval time they would use a glue, but not as well. They're made up of pig fat and some other natural products, and the binding was used to hold on the feather so it didn't move. They would ordinarily put a slither of horn in there. I haven't bothered with it, to make the knock stronger depending on the weight of the bow. Anything above about a 50-pound bow, you should be putting one in if you're making your own arrows, because otherwise it can split the arrow. Draw and loose.
Ready? Hey guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and look out for more archery related content in the future.